In literature, we're accustomed to seeing stories through eyes of heroes or victims, usually. But in Marcus Zuzak's historical fiction novel, The Book Thief, set in Nazi Germany, we're given a completely different perspective. And this is what I want to introduce to you today, because it was very interesting to me personally. The story's narrator is the death itself. In this opening passage, Death introduces himself not as a terrifying monster, but as a weary storyteller who uses the colors of the world to distract himself from the tragic souls he must collect. Specifically, in this part, the soul of a young girl's little brother. And this book illustrates how the death describes the situation. Because he is used to collecting souls, he doesn't really look desperate about the situation. However, we can investigate the hidden emotion inside this volume of death. I'll begin my reading. First, the colors. Then, the humans. That's usually how I see things. Or at least how I try. Here's a small fact. You are going to die. I am in all truthfulness attempting to be cheerful about this whole topic, though most people find themselves hindered in believing me, no matter my protestations. Please, trust me. I most definitely can be cheerful. I can be amiable, agreeable, affable. And that's only the ace. Just don't ask me to be nice. Nice has nothing to do with me. It breath boxes me. It kind of makes me itch. You might ask, why does he even need a distraction? The answer is humans. It's the leftover humans, the survivors. They are the ones I cannot stand to look at it. Yet on many occasions, I still fail. I deliberately seek out the colors to keep my mind off them. But now and then, I witness the ones who are left behind, crumbling among the jigsaw puzzles of realization, despair, and surprise. They have punctured hearts, they have beaten lungs. Which brings me to the subject I am telling you about tonight, or today, or whatever the hour and color may be. It's the story of one of those perpetual survivors. It's the story of a girl, some wards, an accordionist, some fanatical Germans, a Jewish fist fighter, and quite a lot of thievery. I saw this book thief in three different ways. The first time was white. It was a blizzard. I was about to enter a railway line. The train was moving fast, packed with people, but it stopped. A little boy had died in one of the carriages, and his mother and his older sister, Lizzo, were forced to step off into the snow with the guards to bury him by the tracks. I stepped inside the carriage, and I wrapped the boy's soul in my arms and carried him out. But as I walked away, I looked back. I don't know why. The mother was frozen in grief. The girl, the book thief, stood beside her, shivering. Her knees were sunk into the snow. She was staring at the ground, and there, dropped by one of the gravediggers, was a small, black book. It was the gravedigger's handbook. She leaned down, picked it up, and clutched it against her chest. It was her first theft that I remember. The second time I saw her was black. A signature black. It was a few years later, in the town square under a dark smoke-filled sky. A mountain of books had been set on fire by the Nazi party. A book burning. When the crowd finally cleared and the embers were dying, The girl slunk down the alleyway. She was breathing heavily, her heart hammering against her ribs. She reached into the ash, and she heat might have burned her fingers, but she didn't care. She pulled out a blue book, its pages still smoking, and hid it under her coat. I watched her walk away into the darkness, a thief in the shadows. Yes, I saw her. I wanted to stop. I wanted to say, I am sorry, child, but that is not my job. My job is to collect. I kept their stories in my pocket. I have held onto them for all these years to remind myself that humanity, despite all its cruelty, is still capable of beautiful things.